Hello Piccolo people. This video is a practice guide to the piccolo part for Symphonic Dances from West Side Story by Bernstein. The first thing, really the whole first page is nothing too terrible. So starting on the second page, after measure 141, it looks so innocent, but if I miss anything in this piece, it's always that stupid F. What I have found to help is that to vent the high F. So you're going A and then to F and putting down the first and the ring finger as well. And then before 154, this also looks like no big deal, and it isn't, but you're in unison with the E flat clarinet. You're going to have to yield to them. I wouldn't do any vibrato. I mean, some might come out right at the end, stylized vibrato, but since, again, you're in unison with the E flat, just be careful. The next thing here, these glissandos, don't try to do like a whole chromatic scale in between. So you should have your thumb on the B flat side, and then I just do my left hand fingers going up, da 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 da, until I reach the E, like that. So I'm not doing an entire chromatic scale. Then at 179, this isn't too bad, but while you're practicing it, strive to really make the articulations very clear. 1, 2, 2, 2. Pick up to 216. This is a solo, or well, you're with the xylophone. Just be ready to anticipate 1, 2, kata-kata. And I always do kataka, but whatever works for you. After 235, we have this figure. The flutter tonguing, I always do them with my throat because I cannot roll my R's, but I have found that it helps me to just do the throat with figures like this, starting right on the right, rolling right away in my throat, rather than people who roll their R's tend to want to do a T first, like T, and then roll their R's. And it just gets very messy, and the flutter tonguing is like flopping all around. So if possible, I recommend doing it with their throat, so like you're gargling, like that. It just keeps the flutter tonguing more contained. And I would keep pinky off so that you don't go crazy sharp. And then what else? Over at 508, we have some figures going up to high A. Just a reminder that since a lot of us will take our pinkies off for the E so it's not sharp, make sure you put your pinky back down for the high A. Most piccolos, the high A will not speak if you do not have the pinky down, or it'll speak but it'll sound weird. So just make sure your pinky goes down for the high A's. Going into 524 is tricky because we're going up to the high G sharps. I need to always do, in most piccolos, the high G sharp with the alternate fingering. So you're fingering regular high G sharp, and then you need to add the right hand, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. It can be a little awkward, but it's worth it. If your high G sharps aren't coming out, or you really have to force them out, you need to do, I would do this alternate fingering. You do have to practice it that way though. And then the next measure is hard because we go ya-da-da-da, G natural, and that G natural is really hard for most piccolos to keep the pitch up high enough. I just always make sure ya-da-da-da, when I go to the G sharp, that I feel like my G natural is as close in pitch to the G sharp as possible. So I'm trying to keep it as high as possible. Like G sharp is here, I try to put my G natural just like right underneath it. Sometimes, depending on the orchestra I'm playing with or maybe how I'm feeling with my pitch that day, I'll do an alternate fingering on the high G. The alternate high G is left hand, no thumb, first finger and ring finger, and then right hand is middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. It's kind of awkward, and the tone quality is not all that great, but if you just need to keep the pitch up, it does the job. And then the next thing for us of note would be down with the flutter tonguing. You're joining the flutes who have already been playing. So you're just adding a little extra nudge. It has the accent on the A. Just be careful you don't split the A because you're trying to be real musical. It's nice to do that, but just be cautious about those middle register notes and your flutter tonguing. So here I don't tongue first and then flutter tongue. I just flutter tongue immediately. And this stuff after 649 is fun to play. the D flat here is very flat, but I feel like there's not really enough time to do the alternate. Well, I guess you could. When I just played it just now, I did not do the alternate, but I tried to lip it up a little bit. So our D flats are normally pretty flat. So just know you just lip it up a little bit, yada, da yada. And then for the flutter tonguing on the high G flat, again, throat, right from the get-go. And I do the middle finger for your F sharp or G flat. I do that a lot in the high register on piccolo in general, but especially on a flutter tongued note because it's more stable. And then after that, the high G's, I just try to lip them up. Because mine are flat. So just be aware of your intonation. Those details to intonation really pay off. At 681, this is usually done continual swing, or I would say always. So if you're practicing at home and you've never played this piece, just be prepared to swing. You know, orchestral swing, kind of like a nerdy swing or something. But anyway, it's not ta 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 ta. It's not that. Okay, and then the rumble at 7:30. Here, the G natural, this I like to do the alternate G because you have the diminuendo, which is very hard to sustain the high G, keeping the pitch up. This pickup to 759 is very cool, very rhythmic, and should be rhythmically exact. And then, that's my favorite part, before 788. A word of caution though, at 776, make sure you watch the conductor like a hawk. First measure of 776 is empty, except for a pickup note. So right at 776, the conductor starts beating. 1, 2, da 2, 2, 3, 2. So just know that. And don't rely on the cued notes, violin. I never hear it exactly, not enough to be to really rely on. So I count like a robot, sort of. Right here at 776, I watch the conductor 1, 2, 2, 2, and I'm just counting. I'm trying not to listen because there's different instruments coming in and out of the texture. And then at 783, 1, 2, 1, 2, and I don't even look at those cues, because I don't really hear them, and if I try to listen for them, I'll get off. The reason this is so important is when you come in, it's just you and the clarinet, and it's really important that you be there. You can't get lost here. Again, don't try to do every single chromatic note on the way up. Just, you have to arrive to the top D exactly on beat 1. I usually do triple tonguing at the beginning of this figure. Rest, 2, 1. And then here, I always do single tonguing. Something about the character of the music right there. I don't know. That's what I do. So I think it just helps keep me not from rushing or stumbling. And it's just, like I said, it's just the musical phrasing at that point. It's kind of like one note at a time. The grace note after 796, the thing with those, it could be a little awkward going up. Just make sure you land on high A, no matter what, exactly on beat 2. Okay, those are all the main measures in this piece. Please hit subscribe. I have an ongoing playlist of these practice guides. You might want to go check out and see what I have up there that is existing. Thanks for watching this video, and happy practicing.